Welcome to the Midnight Narrator, where the clock strikes late, and the stories that linger in the shadows come to life. Tonight, we venture down a desolate stretch of highway, where dark secrets and unspeakable fears await. This is the tale of the Shadow Eater of Highway 80, a truck stop that holds far more than greasy meals and late-night coffee. Join me, and let the darkness consume your curiosity. Are you ready for what's lurking in the corner booth? The Crossroads truck stop, a beacon of greasy light on the desolate plains of Nebraska's Highway 80, became my purgatory. Slinging coffee and hash browns at 3 a.m. wasn't on my life's roadmap, but the pay, almost triple what any other joint offered, was too tempting to ignore. My sister Sarah had vanished a year prior, her car found abandoned just miles from this desolate stretch of highway. The local police had given up, but I hadn't. I needed answers, and the Crossroads, with its strange allure and exorbitant wages, felt like the only lead I had left. My first weeks were a blur of late nights and demanding truckers, the constant hum of 18-wheelers, a lullaby of loneliness. I'd worked in food service before, so the chaos was familiar. It was the unspoken rules that unsettled me. Some areas had to be spotless, others perpetually coated in grime. Service had to be quick, but not too quick. The truckers, weary souls chasing deadlines and empty miles, craved solitude as much as caffeine. One rule was absolute: never clean the far corner booth too thoroughly. A thin layer of dust and grime had to remain. The cooks, too, operated under a strange code. Culinary flair was a sin. Food had to be edible, nothing more. Mediocrity was the silent mantra. Once, a new cook tried to add a sprig of parsley to a plate of hash browns. Mary, the owner, snatched the plate away, her face a mask of fury. "We don't do that here," she'd hissed, her voice like cracking ice. Understand? One slow afternoon, I asked Mary about the suspiciously high wages. She didn't look up from the cash register. "We have high expectations," she rasped, her voice like gravel. "Important rules, break 'em, you're gone." "Right," I said. "High expectations." Her eyes, sharp and knowing, finally met mine. "I don't run this place, not really. Following the rules means you take care of yourself. There's more going on here than just this truck stop." She paused, a sigh escaping her lips. "If you can't follow instructions without question, I'll give you a week's pay to walk out that door right now." I stayed. I needed the money, and a morbid curiosity, fueled by my sister's disappearance, had begun to take root. Then, one frigid November night, I saw him. He sat in the far corner booth, a void within the dim light. I couldn't tell how long he'd been there, but he radiated an unnerving stillness. A dark, worn leather duster swallowed his frame, and a wide-brimmed hat hid his face in perpetual shadow. As I moved to approach, Mary's hand clamped onto my arm, her grip surprisingly strong. "Remember," she hissed, her eyes wide with fear. "That one. You don't go near him. You don't speak to him. You don't even look at him directly." "He's a customer," I protested, pulling my arm free. Her grip tightened again. "Just follow the damn instructions. You don't approach him. You don't take his order." "Or what?" She exhaled sharply, her gaze fixed on the shadowed figure. "It's different every time. But it ain't good. Shadows. They just disappear. And sometimes, something else goes with them." She glanced at me, a flicker of something akin to pity in her eyes. Like a memory, a piece of themselves. I watched him from a distance. Unlike the other patrons, he didn't seem lonely. He seemed predatory, his presence a heavy weight in the air. His visits became a monthly ritual, a dark countdown on the calendar. Each time I felt a growing unease, a sense of being watched, studied. One night, Mary fell ill. We convinced her to go home, a decision I would soon regret. That was the night he appeared. The other staff instinctively avoided the corner booth. But a reckless curiosity, a desire to understand the rules that dictated our existence, gnawed at me. I called across the room, my voice trembling slightly. "Can I help you, sir?" He slowly turned his head, the shadows of his hat deepening. His voice was low, a rumble that seemed to vibrate through the floor. "I'm afraid I didn't hear you, friend. Could you come closer?" I froze, a cold dread settling in my stomach. I didn't move. "My apologies," he said, his voice laced with a hint of amusement, "but it seems no one has taken my order yet." He then vanished, leaving a faint chill in the air. A few days later, a trucker, a regular named Earl, came in, looking distraught. "I can't remember," he kept saying, clutching his head. "I can't remember what I was carrying, where I was going." He was later diagnosed with retrograde amnesia, a complete blank in his memory for the past few weeks. Then came Billy, young and eager. We gave him the same warning: follow the rules, no questions asked, especially about the man in the corner. The next time the Shadow Eater appeared, Billy was taking out the trash. He came back through the side door, the one closest to the corner booth. I saw the Shadow Eater turn his head, his hidden face seeming to widen into a smile. 30 visits, he murmured, his voice now audible to me. And still no service. Perhaps this time, I'll take what's offered. Billy, ever eager to please, pulled out his notepad. "I can take your order, sir. What can I get you?" Then, they were gone. No sound, no struggle, just gone. The air felt colder, emptier. The faint scent of ozone hung in the air. The sheriff's voice crackled over the radio. "Alert level black, civilian compromised." He arrived soon after, his face grim. He pulled me aside. "This started a long time ago. The Lakota called him Shkan, a spirit that feeds on shadows, on memory, on fear. They say he was bound to this land by a deal, a bargain made with something older, something darker. There's been disappearances along this highway for decades, always around this time of year. Agents from the Bureau have been monitoring the situation for years, trying to contain it. Mary quit soon after. She'd always planned to leave after the 10th disappearance. I stayed. My sister was still out there. Maybe, just maybe, this darkness was connected to her vanishing. Then, one night, he walked in through the front door. It was after closing. I was alone. He stood before me, the shadow still obscuring his face. "Don't worry," he said, his voice a low caress. "I have my own rules." He paused, tilting his head slightly. "I know you've been curious. Cautious curiosity, I admire that. I'll answer your question. Why do I do this? It's entertaining. This world of yours, so fragile, so easily disrupted. It's a game. And he offered me a chance to play a new one. He offered me their fear, their despair, their forgotten moments. A feast for a spirit like me." He vanished, leaving a small, roughly carved wooden box on the counter. Inside, folded neatly like a piece of dark cloth, was Billy's shadow. Scratched into the inside of the lid were the words, "He offered me his fear, and I offered him a way out." Now, every time I look up at the vast Nebraskan sky, I know he could be anywhere, and I know he will be back. The game has changed, and I'm not sure I want to know what the next offer will be, but I will find out what happened to my sister. You've heard the story, but the shadows never stay still for long. Did you feel the chill in the air? The unease creeping up your spine? The Shadow Eater is never far away, and neither is the darkness that follows him. If you've enjoyed tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of fear that waits in the dark. Until next time, remember, curiosity may be the thing that leads you into the shadows.